What's up, guys? Here for initial performance review on the KD12. I've got about 15 hours of basketball in these shoes over the last 2 weeks, and I want to give at least first insight into the shoe. I figured to go over some of the things I mentioned in the first video as far as what I kind of was excited about, maybe concerned about, that sort of thing. So let's start at the bottom of the shoe, work way up. Starting with the traction. The traction on the shoes worked great so far. I haven't played on any really dusty courts yet. But I've been able to stop left, right, hard stops forward, hard stops back, and haven't really had any issues with slipping at all, even though it's a translucent traction that lends itself maybe to better left and right stopping as opposed to front and back stopping based on the traction pattern. But I've stopped in all directions just fine, and so far so good. Like I said, no super dusty courts though. The traction color, it's picked up a lot of dust. It's actually turned from like the nice translucent white to this dingy brownish grayish color. So it won't look pretty for that long though. I had mentioned last time that I wouldn't say I was concerned, but I was kind of, I felt like maybe there wasn't an outrigger on the shoe, or it just didn't feel like it a little bit. I thought it would be okay, but I wasn't 100% sure. I haven't had any problem with it at all. I feel very stable in the shoe. I don't feel like it's ever going to tip over at all. Not once have I felt that way, even on the hardest cuts, even off balance and things like that. I've been great. Only once did I find myself super off balance, and it actually was a landing with a super hard heel hit. And that lends us to the back of the cushion here. The pod or the foam or the air, everything did its job when I did have that hard heel hit. I did no lasting effects at all, and everything was good as far as that goes. Continuing with the bottom of the shoe and the layers of cushion, again we have the foam that has the cored out holes in it, and then we have the Zoom Air above that foam, and then we have the pod, the heel pod right here. And I've really been trying to figure out what it feels like, and I don't know if I can describe it great yet. At first, when I first put it on, felt bouncy, kind of. When you started playing it, it felt a little more like maybe you didn't feel as much of the air, and you felt more of the foam. And at different times, it's like you kind of feel something different depending on maybe what movement you're in. When you're just kind of walking, maybe you feel a little bit more of the air. Once you start running in it, maybe you feel a little bit more of the foam. But then sometimes I feel the opposite way too. So I can't place yet what exactly it feels like. I think maybe because maybe it's breaking in with the foam, that's giving you a little bit different feel as you know, from day 1 to day 2 to week 1 to week 2 and so on. So maybe I'll be able to place an exact feeling at some point in time, but I'm not there yet what that feeling is. But what I can tell you is that you definitely feel the cushion, which I really like. It's not, you don't feel high up, but you definitely feel the cushion. You feel a little bit of bounciness sometimes. You feel a little bit of like the foam sometimes. You don't feel like you're ever too mushy with it. As expected, you don't really feel the heel pod. I didn't expect to really feel the heel pod at all, but just overall, you can definitely feel the cushion on the shoe. And moving forward and up a little bit to the toe of the shoe, only once did I hit my toe on the front of the shoe, and that's when I had unlaced the shoe just a little bit because the bottom of my foot was burning, because I've been really trying to tighten lace and see what happened, and only once did I slam my toe into the front. But I don't think you'll have to worry about it because I've been able to lace this shoe up tighter than really any shoe I've ever been able to wear and not feel any effects for the most part. I've been working my way up as the shoe maybe is breaking in, and first off, you can really crank on this shoe, and I think it's because of how this tongue is and maybe the reinforcement over here, and it really kind of maybe balances out the stress on the shoe. You get 0 hot spots on your foot as far as the top of your foot goes. And for me, when I tighten a shoe tight, I'll usually feel something maybe somewhere up top, but what I'll definitely do is I'll feel it in the bottom of the shoe. And while I've been feeling it, I feel less and less every time that I tighten it up really tight. Like I said, I am at the point right now where I do have to loosen it up maybe a little bit after some time. And I had the one time where it slammed into the toe. And I also had one time where I felt like my heel kind of went funny in the back of the shoe, but overall I felt very contained and tight in the shoe. I don't know how much of it has to do with the quad axial fly wire in the shoe. I'm not going to say that I really noticed the quad axial fly wire in the shoe as far as like it tightening all around. I think that's going to be a subtle thing, anyways. If you look at it again, they're really small little wires, but they're all throughout the entire shoe, and so it is supposed to keep you contained in all directions, no matter what you're doing. The one funny thing that does go away after like your first or second use is the noisiness of this paper up here. The first time I put the shoe on, you could really hear that crumple as I walked on the court. You don't really hear it now unless you do something like that. So overall, I really like the shoe, but I'm curious if it's going to change over the next 20 hours, next 15 hours of play, or the next month of play. So I'm sure I'll do another review here at some point on it. But it's working how I expected for the most part. So that's all I have to say right now about the shoe. I'm sure that I'll do a review in a month. Let me know what questions you have on the shoe. See you on the court. The traction of the better left and right stopping as